I mean, I just set out to write my derpy wizard books, and it got completely out of hand.
Today we're here with Jim Butcher playing Assassin's Creed Rogue, and the second book in your series has just come out. Do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, it's the second book in my steampunk series. It's called The Olympian Affair. It is the follow-up for the next story. Ooh, I can crouch like Batman. It's the next story about the crew of the Predator and their continued involvement in trying to support the Spire arc of their home spire, Albion. It's a fictional world where everybody lives in these enormous spires because the surface of the world is just this hellish place that humans can't possibly survive. So they all have to live in these giant towers, and the towers are connected by airship travel and airship trade. So naturally, there's going to be airship wars, and that's sort of. So I'm sort of doing steampunk with sort of an Age of Sail kind of sensibility to it. Although we've got airships and all kinds of weird monsters and talking cats.
Yeah, so what made you start this series going, I've mastered urban fantasy, let me move on to steampunk?
It wasn't that so much. I think there's plenty of urban fantasy that is not me, that is just great. But I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to do something that was very different from the Dresden Files. And as a result, I started looking for a new project, and it's X, and that just lets me climb on top of it. Okay. I started looking for a new project, and the best way, I thought that the best way to do it would be I would start writing several different projects, and I would see how my beta readers reacted to things. Oh, now I can jump. Nice.
Now you can fall in the water.
I can fall in the water and perhaps drown? I don't know.
Oh, it's freezing water. Yeah, I was told that we started on this island because it is an island full of penguins.
Okay, well, and the water's freezing, so that makes sense. But so I wrote like half a dozen different things for the beta readers to read, like the first 3 or 4 chapters, and I just wanted to see which one would get the best response. So I had this science fiction project that was sort of X-Men meets Men in Black on the moon. I had a couple of different fantasy projects that were more straightforward swords and horses fantasy, and I wanted to, but the one that got the strongest reaction was the steampunk project. Due to, I think it was purely due to the talking cat. So perhaps I'm going for the cheap and easy way out.
Yeah, you're a cat lover.
When I had never owned a cat when I first wrote it, but I didn't really know cats, but I knew cat people, and so I knew what cat people would want to be. I thought I had a good idea what cat people would want to read about, and it turned out I was pretty right. And then I got a cat of my own. I've got a little 5-pound cat who is the boss of my 95-pound pit bull, and so now I've got a cat of my own to be involved with and to worry about. And then I got to do every fan's dream. I got to add that cat to the series. So there's actually a book series about my cat.
Yeah, I saw that the Olympian Affair has cats on the cover, which is very exciting to me.
Well, those penguins are tough. Okay, I don't think I want to mess with them.
When you're in the Penguin Random House offices, it's illegal to kill a penguin.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. It's a mod. I get it. All right, that makes sense. Basically, I knew I was writing a steampunk, and it's like, and I thought to myself, okay, I've got to honor, the steampunk cosplayers because they're the ones who are really keeping steampunk alive right now. When I first started writing it. And so it's like, all right, we need to have a really good reason for people to have goggles. So that was like 3 days worth of figuring out why do people have to wear goggles in this world. And then I wanted airships, but I didn't want balloons, so I had to come up with a different technology to support that. And so it got. I mean, I look at this as a science fiction story. Everybody says it's steampunk. I think it's science fiction myself.
And did you know a lot about boating, travel, steampunk sort of world before writing, or did you then go, I have to actually research this
No,
now?
I had to start learning. That's unfortunately, but on the other hand, I like a lot of. Okay, I can dive in. Nice. But I was a fan of Age of Sail fiction, like C.S. Forester, the Horatio Hornblower series, and so on. And that is one of those series that gives you a very good classical idea of what being at sea is like and the sorts of problems you run into. Wow. He was done in. Okay. How can I jump? Let's see. Well, I can fall in the water some more. I'll see if I can climb up on this boat this time, though. No, apparently not. Apparently I can freeze. Well, we'll try and get out of the freezing water before I die. I actually did this on a whitewater rafting trip about 2 months ago. I fell out of the boat into a 37-degree river, and I wasn't wearing a wetsuit. So that wound up being an experience.
And so you live in the Denver area?
Yeah, I live in Monument, which is south of Denver. And I used to live in Evergreen, which I always joked was as close to Denver as you can live and still have to worry about bears in the yard. But now I live in Monument, where we don't have bears in the yard, but we do have mountain lions at times.
I don't like either of those things.
Well, you know, it's sort of difficult to get used to. How do I get over to this other boat? I mean, this is Assassin's Creed. Shouldn't I be able to elegantly dive?
Jump.
Okay, which one is jump?
Going to guess X.
Well, O lets me hang.
If you...
All right. There, now I can climb up.
Elegant.
Huzzah! Hey, it got done. That's the important thing. Oh my gosh. If any of my characters were this clumsy. Huzzah! Okay, yeah, I figured it out.
I mean, Harry runs into a lot of problems.
True enough.
Sometimes, often of his own creation.
Okay, how do we go ahead? Speed up is X, alright. Oh, I like it.
I wonder who's out here dropping mines around the Penguin Island.
Yeah, one wonders. I mean, it seems like there would be some sort of environmental regulation against mining penguins. Is that what that says? Okay.
And how do you approach conveying good action in the written word?
The real trick to it is you have to kind of think of it like you're an announcer covering a game of football. You can't talk about everything that's happening going on in any given scene. We're doing well, whatever we're doing. But your job is to follow the ball. So the ball, in the case of writing, is usually whatever your viewpoint character's after. So you have to kind of think of it that way, and then you also have to think of it as calling a game of tennis. Oh wait, we can loot something.
And I've heard that you sometimes work out plots by playing through them in D&D.
Oh, I do. Yeah, when I get to a new story world, that's one of the things that I love doing is running a D&D game in a given story world, because characters, you know, they always do what I tell them to do. You know, I'm writing everybody in that one, so they tend to be very cooperative. But when you're working on a story world with other people, they refuse to do anything that you want them to do. So it sort of forces you to... Oh, I like how we're getting out to sea here. So it sort of forces you to build this world. You know, kind of you're laying down the planks of the world. You know, 5 or 6 inches in front of their toes. You know, because they keep going to various different places. All right.
You must be lucky to have friends who are willing to be your guinea pigs.
Well, a lot of them are family. You know, so you know.
So they don't have a choice.
Yeah, they don't really really get an option. Aha! Take that. I'm sure I'm going to get this ship sunk, but that's all right.
Keep out of my way!
And are there steampunk or just regular seafaring media that you've been inspired by?
Oh, Star Trek, of course. Let's see. I would say the Voyage of the Dawn Treader probably had more to do with it than it strictly should have. in terms of how big a book that was in the Narnia series. Use explosive shot. But oh wow,
That's a lot of cannonballs.
okay, I'm in a restricted area. We are pirates. There are no restricted areas.
Oh, different camera angle.
Yeah. Okay, there's the other bad guy. Or although we're pirates, I assume we're the bad guys. Oh, that wasn't a very good shot, guys.
I like that the boat has a sink meter.
Yeah. Well, it's nice that they qualify. Okay, we're going to sink that guy. Oh, okay, got it. Makes it easy. Can't let him get away. He seems to be running. But yeah, running games for people, it really forces you to make it much more of a creative exercise.
And for people who have been fans of Dresden Files but may not have yet checked out the Cinder Spires, what would you say to them to convince them to make that jump?
Well, I mean, everybody's always asking about Mister in the Dresden Files, and, I finally get to give cats a bit of a larger role. Oh my gosh, they're really pounding us. It's a lot of the same sensibilities in terms of the kind of adventure that we like to have in the Dresden Files. Wow, we're terrible shots. I'm a bad pirate captain.
But you've got a lot of boat health, so...
Yeah. Okay, we may just... Does he have a ram on the front of his ship? Is that some kind of Greek vessel? Good lord.
Oh, God. Well, apparently you
See, there's the shot we want. We want to, historically speaking, we want to fire across his T and fire up the length of his ship rather than just at the broadside. All right, we won.
Yeah, are there any exceptionally interesting things you've discovered in your research?
There were. You do your research for something like that. I mean, you kind of have to base it out of history. Okay, how do we board? Okay, so that's how we slow down. We need to board this ship. How do we do that?
That other ship may not be too happy about you ignoring it. But hey, at least none of the prisoners of war have died yet.
All right, okay, that's the ship we have to board. This other one wants to shoot us, and we want to shoot them. Got it. It's a good thing my ship is so much healthier than theirs. Or this would just be going nowhere. Okay, that's how you want to shoot at him, but now there's a wave in the way.
And so if the second book in the series complete now, do you have any sort of special celebration you do when a book is finally out in the world?
Yeah, I've been really conscious about my health lately, and when I finish with a book, I give myself a day to just eat all the junk food that I want. So it's off to Burger King and to get my favorite donuts, and probably to what's the cookie shop? Crumble. To get some of those like gourmet cookies.
No wonder you work on so many things if you only give yourself a day of cheating.
All right. Okay, hold O to board. All right. All right, now we're boarding.
There they go.
Okay, so my team's going with me. Nice. Come on, men.
I think it's
okay, they've got the grappling hooks. Now they're pulling us in. Neat.
It's going to be interesting to see if we can pull off getting you from this ship to that ship.
Right. See if I can shoot somebody here. Bam. No. Oh, I guess I got him. Okay. Stick your head up again there, Rabbit. Bam. Uh-oh. I'm in bullet time. Hold R2. All right. Aha.
I don't know if this is fully an aha moment.
Okay, that's me going backwards. Good. Hey, all right, you.
And so I read a ton of urban fantasy, and you're basically at a level where all urban fantasy that comes out is compared to the Dresden Files. How do you feel about being just the go-to name in that genre?
Awkward. I mean, I just set out to write my derpy wizard books, and it got completely out of hand. Wow, I am just bloodthirsty, and these are uniformed officers here. I don't know. Are we doing the right thing? I hope this is an evil empire.
That's always kind of the awkward thing with pirates. Like, they weren't good people.
Yeah, I just ran that guy through the back. Which, if I was a pirate, that would be the way I would prefer to fight, because these sharp things are dangerous. Ooh, nice. Okay. Oops.
And I feel like for me, watching you play a pirate game is exceptionally cruel today, because I just want to go watch the new Our Flag Means Death episodes.
Oh, are they out now?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I still have to check out Loki. I haven't done that yet. I'll do that. My son will come along to the convention in a couple of days, and we'll check that out together.
I really liked the first episode of this season. I've kind of fallen off keeping up with the whole Marvel universe, and it kind of makes me enjoy it more, because it's not... I don't see everything that's setting up the next thing. I can just enjoy the plot. And beyond...
Oh, ow! Okay, I guess he's tough.
And beyond Star Trek, which you've mentioned, were there franchises and other media growing up that you really loved and inspired?
Oh, Star Wars, of course. I mean, obviously. When I was growing up, there was kind of not a whole ton of fantasy available. I mean, when I first started reading fantasy books, it was the early 70s, 1976 or so. I guess we won. Everybody's holding up their swords. And, basically you had Narnia, you had, the Star Wars movies were out, the Elfstone books by Terry Brooks were out, and then there was Tolkien, and that was kind of a lot of the fantasy that was available, and you had to start looking around for the other stuff, and so I became a dual citizen of Amber and Gore and Narnia and all these other places that were being written at that time, and I just snapped up new stuff as quickly as it came out.
I somehow managed to never read Narnia growing up.
Really?
My family lived in France before I was born, so they were always like, oh, you have to read The Magician's Nephew first, because it's the actual first one.
Oh.
And it's honestly not.
Yeah, that's not good. No, it's not a good one to start with. I mean, you should read it in the order that the author originally put it out. Perhaps the author knows something about that.
Yeah, I didn't even know until recently how it ended, and I was like, wow, that's intense.
Oh yeah. The apocalypse of the entire universe that happens right in front of you. Yeah. I'm sure that was a lot of fun to write. I haven't ever apocalypsed a universe before. I've gotten close to apocalypsing a city, and that was psychically difficult enough, to really stop and imagine that. That's working on the new Dresden book. That's been one of the big research things that I've been doing is figuring out, well, what happens to a city when this sort of stuff happens to it? What really goes on afterwards? What would the recovery process be like? And it's like, oh my gosh, it's awful. All right, I guess we need to We need to get these guys. Prepare the cannon. Man the swivel guns. Kapow! Can we board them and fight them? Because that was fun.
You love a good murder.
Well, we are pirates after all.
It's gonna be fun if it turns out that we're not pirates.
I want you to do it. I want you to do it. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait. He's still alive. No, wait. No, he's exploding. All right.
I like that the ship was referred to as incapacitated. It gets a bit more intense than that.
Yeah, I have to get close enough to board. Ooh, I can use this.
And your son is now also writing. What is that like?
Oh, I don't see him as much. Although, you know, I'm a father. I don't see the kid as much as I would like to. That's just life.
Does he come to you for advice, or is he like, no, I know what I'm doing?
We get together twice a week, and he doesn't know what he's doing at this point. But we get together twice a week, and we watch something on TV together, and then we critique it, and we talk about, well, what could have been done better, what could have been, you know, what opportunities did they miss, and you know, when it's good stuff, we can just shut up and enjoy it. But a lot of the time, you know, we'll say, oh, imagine how much cooler this scene would have been if, you know, imagine how much more it would have meant to the characters, you know, if we'd done this. And he's much better at that than I am. He's really taking his craft super seriously right now. So
I think you're making a lot of people jealous who would want that kind of interaction with their parents.
Yeah, well, it would be, yeah. It's a good way to do it. Me and the kid, you know, we get along really well, and so when we're not gaming or LARPing or playing video games together, we're watching something together and critiquing it. But I just sort of come along and carry his water when we're playing video games together.
Yeah, the way I always like to approach those is, how could I have made this better with the fewest number of changes? Because especially with productions, there's a lot of
exactly.
Budget you have to take into mind. So
and that's the very best, is when you look at something and say, look at this small thing you could have done that wouldn't have cost any more, or might have cost a whole lot less, and you know how much more it would have meant to the audience. See if we can sail somewhere interesting now.
And so, who are your favorite characters to write for?
Favorite characters?
Yeah.
To write? The cats in Cinder Spires are a lot of fun to write. In my early fantasy series, the Codex Alera, there was a character named Ambassador Varg, who was a 9-foot werewolf, very urbane and polished, but would also, you know, eat your face if you got to him the wrong way. And he was a lot of fun to write. I love writing Mab in the Dresden Files, because Mab is just completely out of F's to give, and she can take Dresden's humanity and just walk all over it so coldly and callously, and I love writing that. It's not a whole lot of fun to live through being treated like that, but I love writing it for poor Dresden. I swear that guy gets the worst rap from me. If I ever met Harry Dresden in real life, I'm sure he would punch me right in the nose. Okay, we can just pick a fight. Good. We are indeed pirates then. All right. Ooh, that's English. Oh yeah, that got him. Board them. Board the men.
And has your writing process changed over your career at all?
It has, but only as I have learned to treat myself better and to sleep at human hours. It used to be I would be up all night writing. That was just kind of, everybody would go to sleep, and then I would play some video games for a while and get my head in the right space and then start writing. Okay. I'm used to inverting my stick because I'm an ancient gamer.
I have never met people before who invert their controls, but so many authors they can only do inverted.
Yeah. I mean, I'm having a really hard time here. I had to learn to do it the other way when I played one of the Buffy the Vampire Slayer games because there was no choice, and I had to play the Buffy the Vampire Slayer game. There wasn't a choice about that either, so I had to learn how to do it that way.
We can probably invert the controls in the settings.
Probably, but what fun would that be? But now, now I try and do my writing. I wake up in the morning and say, okay, first thing I got to do is write. Except always the first thing I have to do is get my stepson off to school and then go to the gym, and then I come home and write, and then I'll try and write again in the afternoon, and then again before I go to sleep at night. I guess we should repair the ship. That seems like a good call. And I'm actually, I get work done faster that way. It turns out that, it also works out better for Penguin because, I'm awake during the day, during business hours in New York rather than sleeping until 4 o'clock New York time and then having an hour to respond to anything that got said to me that day.
I don't know. I think anyone in the publishing industry is kind of always online.
That's true. Yeah, it really is, especially with with more and more work being done from home, and I hear Penguin's pretty good about. Oh wow, somebody's picking a fight. You looking at me? Okay, all right. Pow.
There are a shocking number of ships up in this Arctic water.
Yeah, there really are. It's a parking lot out here.
Does it look like your ship has the flag of Sweden on the top of it?
I can't tell. I don't know.
Or I guess it's one
there's
of the crosses, but
yeah,
not
and then
Sweden.
that's the British cross, right?
Yeah.
And then perhaps the Swedish one too. All right, we can assume that we're representing the Queen in some measure then.
I mean, back in the day, pretty much anyone was.
Ooh, wow. I like the cannonball animations. Those are quite cool.
A legendary battle.
All right, I'll join a legendary battle. I think. Yeah, apparently we are. Okay.
I like that the game's I think we're gonna save before you make that decision.
Yeah. The Battle of Quiberon Bay. Or is it? It's France, so maybe it's Quiberon.
It's a lot of boats.
Seems like. Is it us against all of them? Who are? Do we have friendlies?
Nope, it looks like you're just out here to destroy France.
Well, they probably have it coming. I'm just going to assume that they do. Pow. No? Okay. I have to learn to aim these things a little
Look
better.
at it.
Look at that! Look how epic that looks, though! All right. We're going this way. For the Queen of France and or of England and or Sweden. All right, we've got red dots. I think the blue ones are friendlies. I'm going to assume they're friendlies.
They certainly look exactly like all the other boats.
Yeah. Well, that would have been a problem in the Age of Sail, right? Boom, 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 boom. We'll get this guy. Uh-oh. We rammed someone. Ooh, that got him. Of course, I think we're getting shot up, too. Oh, wow. Yeah, that got him. That sent him right down.
Oh, God.
Good Lord. I'm not sure ships actually sink that fast, do they? All right.
I would assume you would know better than I do.
Well, it doesn't seem like they would, but perhaps they do. Okay, look at event. What event? All right.
It's like you're just looking at the sunset.
Yeah. All right, those are the red dots are the fire ships we need to sink. Okay, got it.
It looks like that one boat might be significant compared to the other ones.
I think so. But this one looked at me funny. Bam!
You're exploding boats you aren't even looking at.
Well, I've always been fortunate I've always been lucky when it came to order. Was that what Clint Eastwood's character said in Unforgiven? I was lucky when it came to order. All right, so that's I thought that was a friendly. Okay. Well, fine. We're definitely gonna ram you.
I would not want to be one of the guys just standing on the edge of the boat.
Right? You know, that's somebody who's accepted their fate there, you know? Wow. Okay, that was a lot of damage. I'm glad we saved this game, you know, looking back at it.
Yeah, your health is not looking good.
It is not. On the other hand, this enemy is apparently formidable, so... Ooh. Desynchronized.
So what have we learned about boating and pirating from this experience?
Well, it's harder than it looks, isn't it? You can exit this memory through the menu. Well, we're not going to do that. All right. Let's go get him.
Like, now this is about revenge.
Okay, I'm looking at an event. Oh, there's a wave in the way.
I have always been curious if boats actually turn that fast and dramatically in real life.
Well, I think they were probably capable of a lot more than we realize. I think, generally speaking, the modern world doesn't give enough credit to the historical world. They usually had... we make fun of dumb things that happened in history and so on, but I think... wow, he's really on our tail.
And on fire.
And on fire. I mean, I assume he's just going to blow up. At some point.
But will he take you with him?
Yeah, that's the question. We got to stay out of that red circle, I think. Where is he? Right on our tail. I think we're a little faster than him, but I think he corners better than us. Alright, so we're going to have to run straight away from him for a while so we have enough room to turn around.
I like that all the other boats, though, were like, that boat's got it.
Yeah.
To pursue.
That guy who's on fire, just let him go after him. Alright, let's see if we got it up from... Yeah, well, we could shoot him. Oh, no, we can't.
Might have gotten him a little bit. They sink fast, but they can be on fire for a long time.
Apparently, yeah. Alright. Okay, well... Okay, now we have to fight the big bad guy. Okay, the legendary ship who's formidable. Alright.
Wonder what the yellow...
At speed, please. See, we tricked him. He thought we were going to sail like intelligent people, and we didn't. Okay, so the big ship has launched more little fire ships. That seems unfair. You can't just create little fire ships out of nothing.
Also seems like a tremendous waste of resources.
Oh my gosh. But yeah, but in order to research stuff for, you know, my ridiculous fantasy steampunk stuff, you always go to history and, you know, to actual naval battles. So you look at various people, and there were some outstanding historical figures who, oh my gosh, look at this. Oh, that's when we should have shot. We came up to the top of the wave. I have to remember not to shoot into the water. And that's always the best place to look for inspiration for fiction. Even the duels that I wrote for this one were based on real world duels. Hold brace, which is square. Okay, all right.
We really
All right, we're
have-
doing better this time.
But look at all the health that boat has.
I know, it seems unfair. I mean, when I had more health than all the other boats, that was fine. But this is not. All right, the waves are in the way. We gotta wait till they clear. And those little red carroting things pop up, I think.
They're firing mortars! Right.
You said they were firing, dude. Okay, here they come. We're in trouble again. We may not win this epic battle, I have to say. I may be an insufficient gamer for this.
But you've done more damage this time than you
That's
did
true.
last
That's
time.
true. We've learned more about how not to die quite so fast.
That's all life is really about.
Yes, yeah, really. To die a little bit slower, it's really the whole goal. Almost there, sir.
I think he might be optimistic.
Yes, well, always want somebody like that on the crew. There we go. Why did you shoot straight ahead? Why would you assume that was my order? Whoever did that. Uh-oh, I didn't duck. Well, that's how this game's got to go, I think. Hey everybody, the Olympian Affair, the second book of the Cinder Spires, is out now. You can pick it up at your favorite bookstore near you. By all means, please feel free to read it and let me know what you think online. You can find me at jim-butcher.com or jimbutcher online.
And do the fights in it go a little better than these fights?
Mostly. Well, you know, I can't really say that. I'm a little rough on my characters, so it's entirely possible that things don't go quite as well as they did here.